this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to cut this stylish basque gown with gathers. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive right into today's video. So to start, here is my pattern, and we are going to start by marking out our basic pattern. So we're going to be cutting the front and the back together. So first, you're going to mark your shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust line, and shoulder to waist line. Now I'm going to add extra 7 inches to this pattern. Now your basque for this dress can get up to 7 inches or 5 to 7 inches depending on how deep you want it to be. Now after marking that, I'm going to go ahead to place my ruler to draw out a straight line. Then after drawing out my straight line on those marks that we have made, I'll go ahead to start drafting out the pattern. So I'll go ahead to label my pattern as shoulder to bust, under bust, waist and hip point. So another thing you need to know is the total length of the dress you want. That is also very important for the lower part. Next, you're going to mark your shoulder divided by 2 and add half, come down by 1 inch. After this, you're going to mark your neckline. So for the neckline of this dress in front, I'm using a basic neckline of 3 by 3 inches. So if you're going for the back pattern, since we are also using the same pattern to cut out the back pattern is going to be 3 by 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to place my curve drill and I'm going to connect. After I'm done connecting, I'm going to go ahead to connect from that point at the neckline down to the shoulder part of my pattern. But before that, I'll just go ahead to mark out the basic neckline also that I need for the back pattern, just to show you. Now I will now go ahead to connect from that point on my neckline down to the shoulder point, which will be serving as my shoulder slant or shoulder slope. The next step is to go ahead to find my chest line. For my chest line, to get that is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Now I'll place my ruler and I'll go ahead to draw out a straight line on that point. After that, whatever I have on my shoulder, which is my shoulder divided by 2 plus half, because this dress has a sleeve, I'll mark it on the chest line, place my ruler and draw out a straight line. Now I'll go ahead to divide what I have here into 2 by folding my tape, and I'll come in by ½ inch. After I'm done marking, I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4. My bust is 33 divided by 4. I'll go ahead to mark. Connect from this point to the upper part and also connect to the lower part of my pattern. So after I'm done marking this, right, the next step I'll take is to go ahead to insert my body measurement. I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. This pattern does not have a dart. I'll also mark my under bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Mark my waist circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance, and then mark my hip circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Then I'll go ahead to connect. Now to get your hip point is about 7 inches after your waistline. Now if you're working for a much taller person, you can use 8 inches. Now I'll go ahead to connect my pattern. After I'm done connecting at this point, the next step I'm going to take is to draw out the basque of this dress. Now, if you notice, the basque of this dress did not start from the waist. Now, I'm going down by 2.5 inches after my waistline, or you can use 2 inches. Now, I'll connect it to the total length of this hip because the basque is a bit deep, or you can use 5 to 6 inches for your basque. Now, after this, I'll just go ahead to cut this out. Now, regarding the length of this dress, let's say this dress is 60 inches and now from my shoulder to waist is 17 inches plus I went down by 2.5 inches by my waistline. So what I will have is 17 plus 2.5 will give me 19.5. So that 19.5, sorry, I'll take it out from 60 inches. That will be 60 inches minus 19.5 will give me 40.5. So for the total length of the long area, that is the lower part of the dress, will be 40.5. That is the gathered area of my pattern. That is what I'll be using to cut it out. And whatever I'm going to use for that gathered area will be around 3 yards by 40.5 inches. So after attaching this, you can now go ahead to trim out the excess you have at the lower part of the dress. After that, we'll move back to our pattern, since we have also gotten the front and also how to cut the basque area. Now moving over to the back, while I was cutting this, I actually added like a zipper for it. So if you're cutting it on your pattern, you don't actually need to add the zipper part. All you have to do is just place it on the fabric you want to cut out and add extra zipper allowance in front of your pattern. Now for this part, the basque, I will be reducing the basque to around, let's say for the back, you use 4 inches from your waistline for your basque, or 5 inches, because the basque is not as long as that of the front. Now for the zipper, you can use 1.5 to 2 inches for your zipper. And also remember, the neckline for the back, you extend it up a bit by 1.5 inches. Now at the waistline, I will come in by ½ inch to take out the zipper bulge at this area. I'll extend it all the way up, and I'll be taking it down to the lower part of this pattern, and I'll go ahead to cut this out. So after cutting it out, you can now go ahead to use this pattern to cut out the front part, the back part of your pattern. And also remember, just like I said, at the upper part of the neckline, go ahead to extend it up. So this is what I have for the front part, for the back part of this dress. So with this, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. If you have any question, go ahead to leave it at the comment section. Thanks.